Okay, so who am I here with?
April Overstreet.
Tad Overstreet.
Well, I just want to say thank y'all for coming out. Today we just recently got to see y'all, share y'all's story about y'all's son Cole and how he passed away from a drunk driving incident. And obviously this is free will. Y'all can come out here if y'all choose to, and y'all have for multiple years now. What has inspired y'all to come out here through this hard time?
Well, I mean, really, it just boils down to we don't want anybody else to go through what we went through. And of course, we have a special place in our heart for this school because our kids went to school. Cole was a student here, and Anna, our daughter, graduated from here, and Ben will be coming here.
It's hard to explain other than when I was looking out at the kids tonight. I'm just thinking, I wish they all knew, because I know some of them have families that love them that I know, because of some other kids that I know that some don't. And when you're looking out there, and I think maybe I've always known this, but especially with what we've gone through with Cole and seeing how he lived his life, and especially what we've learned since, that it was all about serving and paying it forward, and to be able to do the same and hopefully make a difference. And I mean, these cliche things you hear about, if it could affect just one, but seriously, I mean, I know with our one, I would do anything. I would trade places with him in a heartbeat to have him back. So if just you just want to reach some of them and keep them from having to go through this.
Yeah, no, for sure. But if there is one thing that y'all would like to share about Cole's story that y'all just want to leave with the rest of these students, what would that be?
Just to know that it could happen to anybody. Like I had said in our speech earlier, we didn't think anything bad ever happened to us, but it did. And it only takes one bad choice to ruin somebody's life.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Well, thank y'all for coming.
Thank you, Jacob.
Okay, so who am I here with?
Caleb Edwards.
It's nice to meet you, Caleb. We just got done speaking with the Overstreets, and I just kind of want to do a follow-up with you. Being able to see both sides of the story of drunk driving, it's very amazing and definitely a blessing for you to be able to be here and speak with the students. But knowing that you have free will and that you were asked and you willingly said yes, what was your inspiration to come here and be able to speak to us?
Oh, yeah, it just comes back down to whenever I was in high school, not really giving any regard to what anybody said. Because it's one thing for your parents and your family or your friends to say, hey man, you shouldn't be drinking and driving, whatever. But whenever you didn't take heed to that and you end up in a situation like I was, and you go to prison for as long as I was in prison for drinking and driving and taking 2 lives, it's important for me and helps me in the healing process more or less to help others and try to get my story out. That way maybe they can learn from my mistakes, I mean, we can't expect other people to live their lives through us, but hopefully at some point in time, our story and the mistakes we make can impact others' lives and help them change from the direction they're going down.
Yeah, and I think it's great that you were able to come here and speak, and we're very thankful for that. And even if it was able to reach one person in here, like I said earlier, I really hope it did. But being on, would you mind kind of explaining the side of the story that you were on whenever it came to the accident, if you don't mind?
December 2012, I was actually involved in a drunk driving wreck, but unlike a lot of the stories and testimonies that the kids and a lot of people in the public hear, I was actually the one that was the drunk driver, and I'm actually the one that took 2 people's lives that night, which is, it's not something a lot of people hear about. And so that's, once again, it goes back to why do I come out and do this? It's because it gives you a different insight, it gives you a different perspective, it gives you a different point of view. It's different whenever you lose a loved one, as opposed to my side where I'm the one that cost those 2 people their lives because of my selfish decisions.
Yeah, well, Mr. Caleb, that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So, who am I here with?
Officer Benfer.
It's very nice to meet you. So we just did 2 interviews with Mr. Caleb and the Overstreets from both sides of the drunk driving incident, one being the drunk driver and the other one being having the victim, their son, the Overstreets. But you being able to see both sides of the story, how do you kind of mediate between that, and what is your role and your perspective on that?
So 2 perspectives that come to mind instantly are dealing with the drunk driver, of course. The emotions there lie mostly in anger and frustration when you have someone who's chosen, whether it's a fatality wreck or it's just a DWI arrest, you have that anger and frustration about that person who has decided to make poor choices that could have ended somebody's life, or who has ended somebody's life or changed somebody's life. And a lot of that comes from not only in the moment, but when it feels like these people are given a slap on the wrist and you're arresting the same person 6, 7 times for the same thing. So there's a lot of anger and frustration in that aspect. Another perspective is death notifications. Those lie heavily on law enforcement most of the time. And I can recall my very first time having to do one, 6 months out of the academy. I got a call from an officer in California, actually, about a 20-year-old female who had been smoking weed and decided to drive home from a campus party and wrapped her tree around a car. And he called and requested that I do the death notification for his mom, who lived in tiny town of Sour Lake. And I had to go to her house at about 4 o'clock in the morning and tell her that her daughter died from a poor choice. It's traumatizing for everybody, the officers included, and I don't usually get emotional about this stuff, but that one was really hard. So it's not only affecting the families of the loved ones that are lost, it's affecting the person getting arrested, and it's affecting the officers that have to respond to these calls with deceased individuals. It's very traumatizing.